Hi, everybody. It's episode 372 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It's Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. I am Chris. With me is Drootin.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Hi, I'm right here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm doing stuff.
How you guys doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah, it's safe to say not too bad myself, either.
And actually, I'll say much better than yesterday. I'm glad we did not record yesterday.
Why? What was up yesterday?
So, Sarah and I went and got COVID booster and flu shot on Monday. And boy, by the end of yesterday was I, exhausted and just out of it.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
And you don't have to get into this on recording, but I thought COVID boosters were only for 65 and up at the moment.
Nope.
It's now if you fall into any of, the high health risk stuff that they had from the original stuff. So, weight
I got
and everything.
An email. Yeah, I got an email from the state on Saturday saying they were available. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to another concert on Saturday. Let's get it done.
Yeah. I wonder if I got an email from... I did actually recently get an email, but I'm also still not at my 6 months yet.
Yeah, so if you're not at the 6 months...
I'm at 6 months for my second shot in 4 days, but...
Yeah, same here. Mine is the second or third week of October will be 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Well, that's good. At least you're inoculated against things.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's I'm glad you guys are boosted up and re-inoculated, but it's also kind of a level of frustration because my friend who works in a hospital doing as a pharmacist in the COVID ward, basically, she can't get hers yet.
Yes, she can.
Because she's not in. She's not in one of those high, she's in a job that has it, but
that's one of the categories that can get it.
Yeah, they just released this either late last week or the beginning of this week. If you're,
it was last Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, if you work in a job where you are at any sort of risk of getting it, including and they specify healthcare,
okay,
you are eligible for a booster.
Okay,
at least in New Jersey. Yeah,
I know, I at least I saw that, it was approved for boosters, but, the headline was 65 plus, blah, 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 and so I was just okay.
But
I didn't think anything of it.
The boosters for 65 plus have been, months now.
Well, yeah, boosters for 65 plus has been months, but it's, the booster, it wasn't even a booster, it was just a third shot. They didn't consider, that a
Fair.
Booster. They considered that
right.
a third shot for immunocompromised and 65 and up.
Also, keep in mind, though, that there's different reports in language depending on what they're talking about. So the third shot was just recently FDA approved for 65 and older. The state of New Jersey has approved anyone that's in the high risk categories or or whose job puts them at high risk of exposure or of potential exposure to be eligible for it. But that doesn't mean it's not FDA approved, so it's not universal that you can.
Yeah, which means hopefully she gets to get it soon and can start hanging out safely again.
Nope.
Because it's we record Brose at her house, and when we're there, if we're not in the recording studio, we have to wear a mask just as a precaution. She doesn't want to get her patients sick and or kill them because they do a lot of transplants there. And she doesn't want to potentially get us sick because she works with COVID.
Which is
understandable.
That's thoughtful.
I'm not against it. I'm 100%. I'm all for it. But it's just it'd be nice to not have to go up there 2 sets of stairs with a mask on anymore.
Oh, don't be a baby.
This is just me being a baby now. But I'll always do it, and I'll always respect their wishes. And it's I'm not mad about it, but it's just
you sound mad about it.
Man, they have a lot of steps.
I'm going to tell everybody that you're mad about it.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
But anyway, Rich, what's on the agenda tonight?
On the agenda tonight, maybe I should actually have the outline open. We are going to quick have a discussion about a concert. Well, a concert Drootin went to last week. Then there was a Nintendo Direct on Thursday evening last week. Correct? Yes. That we have a couple of discussion topics we can have about it. Cobb, you played some online Halo. Drootin, you played some or just some more Diablo II Resurrected. I guess you could say some more because you've always played Diablo 2. I played a new game called Timberborn, which I fucking love. And Cobb needs to get good at Kana. But we'll talk more about that when we get there.
Yeah, and I didn't say I was bad at it. I just said it got hard.
Look, either way, you still gotta get good.
Anyway, Drew, how were the killers?
I'll make the joke I made to my therapist yesterday. They were killer. They were really.
Nope.
They were really fucking good.
You're fired. Go home.
Okay. Well, I'm already home, so.
I mean,
problem solved.
He's right. He is right.
Yeah. No. Like, the Killers are a band that, like, I always thought they were fine. I wouldn't have said I was a big Killers fan, and I wouldn't have paid what the tickets cost to have seen them at, like, Wells Fargo Center, let's say, or anything even bigger than that. Like, I'd have been like, whatever. But they were playing the Franklin Music Hall.
It's the Electric Factory.
Yeah, the Electric Factory, and it was like, you know what? All right. They had someone that was like, hey, do you want to go? I was like, all right, yeah, I'll buy it. Go. And yeah, like, seeing them in that small of a place was really cool.
Nice. Yeah, I don't dislike the Killers, but I only know their two really big songs, and like they're not songs I particularly enjoy, so I don't know that I would ever go see them. But if it's a good concert, it's a good concert.
Yeah, Brandon Flowers is like the epitome of a frontman. Mm-hmm. Like, dude had 2 separate microphones on stage.
Good for him.
Like, they had one set up. They had a wireless microphone set up at where his synthesizers were, and then a separate wired microphone and stand, like, on the about same distance from edge of stage on the opposite side, on, like, stage left, and the synth was on stage right. And it's like, why do you... And, like, sometimes he would take one microphone over to the other, and it's like, what are you doing? But, like, so much energy from him and the whole band, really.
Which, that's cool.
They were really good. Yeah.
What was the entrance stuff like to get in? Because didn't they required the vaccine proof and negative test, right?
Yeah, so they had people, like, right outside the fence to, like, the parking lot area, checking your ID and your vaccine card and your proof of vaccine, or a proof of negative test, I mean. And they actually did have someone there doing rapid tests. I don't know if they were charging for them or not, if you got them there, but...
They were charging, but they actually also weren't somebody who was there with the venue. It was just some Joe Schmo doing them and giving you...
I mean, it was like they had a van that had, like, professionally done rap on it. Like, it was some service. It wasn't just, like, a random person. But not having needed to get a test done right then and there, I didn't really pay attention to. Aside from the fact that, like, on the top, it, in red, it was like rapid test site or whatever.
Yeah, you gotta...
And it had a tent and all.
You do gotta have to wonder, though, like, does the venue, like, request them to come out and, like, they do just charge for the rapid test, which wouldn't be surprising? Or, like, do they just show up at venues that they know have a requirement for that, like, and just, like, set up shop outside? It's like, hey, we can test you and get you your results before the show starts.
Yeah, I don't know. Considering that they were, like, on the inside of the fence, so I guess, like, on, like, the venue's actual property.
Okay, they were probably, like, requested to be there by the venue or the band or something.
Yeah.
That's still cool, because not it's hard to get those appointments sometimes, especially, like, when it needs to be... It was 72 hours, I think, right?
Yeah. And, there were people buying tickets day of. Like, there were people right behind us in line that one of the people in their group bought a ticket the day of off StubHub or whatever, and I guess was able to get a test done earlier in the day or whatever and had it with them. So it was fine, but it was like, oh, yeah, I wonder how many people tried to buy a ticket and didn't know they needed both.
Yeah, because I think... So you're going to see Dance Gavin Dance on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And they're playing the Electric Factory too, I believe?
Yep.
But, like, looking at it, it doesn't look like they require both things. You just need the vaccine, I think, for them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see Newfound Glory and Less Than Jake on Sunday, and I'm pretty sure they're the same. It's one or the other.
Yeah, like, that is the city mandate, as far as I'm aware, is that one or the other. The Killers were like, nah, we want both, if you're getting into this.
Which is good, because, like, there have been, like, stuff canceled for COVID reasons. So.
Well, and friggin' actually, like, Dance Gavin Dance, both their singers during the tour have, even though everyone in the band and on their staff is vaccinated, both their singers have caught COVID during this tour.
Oh, wow.
And missed shows. But since they're vaccinated, like, they've only missed, I think each missed 2 shows.
Oh, at least that's not too bad.
Yeah. So, and they're both back as of the last show. But then, actually, they just had to send their drummer away.
Yeah, I saw that he had to go to rehab.
Like, they kicked him out in the middle of a show.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw that on like Twitter or something like that. Like he was in no shape to play, so like the drum tech filled in for him. And then like the next day, they're just like, yeah, he's gonna go to rehab. He's still in the band. Like he will be back, but like he's gonna go get himself better first. And in the meantime, he has given us his blessing to have our drum tech fill in.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool, at least, that they're like, everything's cool, he needs help.
Yeah, and, like, their whole statement talked about, how the stress from the last 18 months, it was like being stuck inside and not knowing what's happening, sure fucking didn't help his mental state and all
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
So hopefully nothing happens. Like, I think they have one more show between now and Philly, but
yeah, and I know
it's been a bit of a cursed tour for them.
I mean, it's not just them. Like, I've seen a bunch of even the Hell Mega tour. What was it? Fallout Boy had to drop out of 2 shows, I think. Maybe just
2.
one.
I think it wound up being 3. I think they had announced that it was going to be 2, but then had to miss a third one.
I know one of them was Hershey. I forget what the other one.
DC and New York.
That sounds like...
I know they definitely missed New York.
Okay, so I mean...
along with Hershey.
Hershey and New York were definites then.
Yeah, I don't 100% remember DC, but I feel like DC was no, they definitely missed DC, but it was pretty last minute. Like, I want to say it got announced at 4:00 that day that they weren't going to play the show, that the doors opened at 7 or 6 or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then they were back for Detroit, was I think after DC, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's still a fucking thing. So
yeah, you'd think almost 2 years after discovery of a virus, that the world would have a better control over it, and most of the world does.
Yeah, and I know
fucking United States doesn't.
I mean, look, there is a lot of the world that doesn't, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, and I mean, just to, like, for some other bands that I know have had to cancel, like, not even just because people have COVID. Like, Senses Fail had to cancel their next 2 shows. And, like, it's one of those tours where there's, they're playing with, like, I think, like, Bayside and a few other
and Hawthorne
bands.
Heights.
Yeah.
I went to that show at the Electric Factory.
Oh, nice.
I almost went to that show, but forgot about it, and, agreed to record Brose, and then started feeling like crap 3 days prior, so I was like, well, it's a good thing I didn't buy my tickets and I'm not going to the show. Had, like, it's probably, like, more like allergies or something, or just a head cold. Wasn't anything important, but yeah, it was like, I'm glad I didn't go, just in case it was COVID. But yeah, I forgot about that show, but I was supposed to go to it.
Man, Drew, you're just going to all the fucking concerts lately.
Yep.
Which, I mean, I can't blame you.
Yep.
Like, I was looking forward to the Dashboard one that was supposed to be Friday, but...
Oh, fuck, right, that would have been Friday.
I would have seen Coheed for the 3rd time in 2020. But they canceled because of obvious reasons.
Yeah, and I know their tour that they're on, I think now, doesn't come through Philly. I think the closest place is like Newark or something like that.
It was up at Holmdel. The whatever amphitheater up there.
Yeah, and 2 hours for a concert at night that's a long trip.
Yeah, and that already happened. But you know what? I made up for it by going to 4 baseball games in a week. So
that's fair. Drew, you're not going to the Newfound Glory show on Sunday, right?
No, I don't think so.
I'm looking forward to that one. I've never gotten to see Less Than Jake. I've never seen Newfound Glory either, but I really like Less Than Jake. And the only time I had a chance to see them was like a Warped Tour, and we ended up having to leave early. And like it was literally like they were one of like the later bands because they were like one of the bigger bands, and they were on the main stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget who I was with, but one of the people I was with got sick because it was like 112 degrees outside. and like literally could hear them start their set as we were walking down the street. I was like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, I saw them with Real Big Fish once.
Damn, that's a ska show and a half.
Sure was.
I saw them. I've seen, I didn't see them.
Rich, you don't go to concerts. It's fine.
I do. I went to the Ska is Dead tour in, I don't know when.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's probably 5, 6, maybe it was 2004. I remember Mustard Plug Catch 22. So yeah, it was probably, no, I don't think Suburban Legends was there. But it was at the Troc. Yeah, and there's no Troc tours. I'm actually on their website right now going through, trying to find which Scott is Dead tour I went to. Because they have past tours listed.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Unless it was the first one. Pittsburgh.
It was probably 2000.
There we go. 2004, Philadelphia, Trocadero. Catch 22, Mustard Plug, Big D and the Kids Table, Planet Smasher, Suicide Machines, Against All 30 in the Code. So it was the very first Scott is Dead tour. I'm 99% sure that's the one I went.
Yeah, it's the second leg of it. It looks like, because I'm on their site too.
Yeah,
but yeah, that
because I had a Mustard Plug shirt for the longest time that I bought there because I really liked them, but I couldn't wear it because it was too small. And it was the only shirt they had, so I bought it for some reason with the hopes of, I'm gonna lose weight, because I used to always do that, and I never lost weight. And I think I might still have it. I don't know.
Well, try it on. Maybe it fits you now.
No, it doesn't. If it didn't fit me then, it doesn't fit me now.
That's fair. Your head has gotten much larger.
That's what she said.
All right, whatever. All right. Actually, before we transition to Nintendo Direct, Rich, I have a show to pitch you on real quick. It's a sitcom, it's at least a comedy. It's on Hulu. It's called Only Murders in the Building. Have you heard of this?
No, I have not.
All right, so it's a Hulu original. I think the first season is 10 episodes. They're up to episode 7. It's created by Steve Martin and starring Steve Martin and Martin Short. It also has Selena Gomez, Tina Fey, Holly from The Office. Sting, the musician. And, fuck, why can't I think of the other guy's name? Timon from The Lion King.
Nathan Lane?
Yes, thank you, and Nathan Lane. And it's Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez are, like, 3 tenants in this, fancy, like, Upper West Side, like, apartment building. Steve Martin's, like, he basically played Columbo in this fictional universe. And all 3 of them are addicted to a true crime podcast and decide to start their own after somebody gets murdered in their apartment complex. And
that's great.
Yeah, it's the dumbest fucking stuff, but it's also a very compelling murder mystery, surprisingly. And just Steve Martin and Martin Short are just fantastic together all the time. So, like, those two are incredible. And so is Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
I'll keep that on my radar. I started watching Modern Family.
That's a long show.
And it is a long show. I'm like season 3 at this point, but it's really good. I love Modern Family.
Have you ever watched it all the way through, or is this like your first time?
This is my first time.
That's impressive.
It's never been on Netflix, so like I never really watched it.
It's been on Hulu forever though.
It's always been on Hulu, but I didn't have Hulu for the longest time, and then when I got Hulu, I didn't binge watch things on it that often because I still had commercials. And then when I decided to get commercial-free Hulu, I started binge watching things. The only reason I don't use Hulu to watch some of the shows as my bedtime, like on my iPad or whatever, is because my iPad is so old that I can't update Hulu to play Hulu. So yeah, that's the only reason why.
Oh, that's silly. Also, just to tie everything together, Nathan Lane is in Modern Family.
He is. He plays Pickles.
Pepper.
I knew
it was close.
It was close.
I'll give you that.
Close. Yeah.
And he is very good on that show too. He plays an absolute asshole, but he's great.
He's great. I love Pepper.
Yeah, his character is like a rich deli owner who produces Broadway plays on this murder show.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So like that's fun. He also has a deaf son in it, and one of the episodes there's only one line of dialogue because it's from the son's like perspective for the majority. So it's a lot of sign language and like subtitles. But yeah, like anytime that it's from the son's point of view, the only sound is like the background music, because you're basically like you're experiencing it as him, where there's no audio from like the surroundings.
Yeah,
it's really cool. But yeah. I think you would enjoy that show, and it's like 30-minute episodes, and it's a 10-episode season.
Yeah, I'll check it out when I'm done Modern Family. I have other things that are on my radar. I've been told to watch Squid Games or something like that on Netflix. I think that's what I'm gonna do next-ish.
So that's not I don't think that's a show you can watch like to fall asleep to.
No. I mean, and I don't watch Modern Family to fall asleep to anyway. I'm actually watching it. So after I'm done Modern Family, I'll probably go to that, because that's also like a serious show, not a comedy. So
you can watch more than one thing at once, right? You can like swap between things and mix it up a little.
No, I mean I can, and I do, but I have a documentary, a multi-part documentary to watch about a Formula One racer.
Yeah, you have 2 weeks to do that.
Yeah, so I have to watch that first.
I also have to watch that.
There you go. But besides your murder show, we could talk about that Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, so that there was a Nintendo Direct. It certainly directed things. Rich, it appears that you were very angry about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreaker.
Well, before that, overall, I feel like it was a good Direct. It had a decent amount of showing for what's coming up in the next few months, as well as post-Christmas, which is technically winter. But yeah, the first thing they showed was Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreaker, and fuck you, Capcom, was the first thing that came out of my mouth when they showed that. Because Monster Hunter Rise has had zero support besides do this quest fighting these same monsters and get more emotes over and over and over since its release, or since the final update. And the game has gotten, like, literally zero support from Capcom. Monster Hunter Stories 2, a fucking RPG, has gotten more support than Monster Hunter Rise. And it just, it pisses me off.
Well, that's because one of those games is charming and fun, and the other one's Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah, pretty much. No, like, Monster Hunter Rise was my least favorite Monster Hunter game, although I still put close to 100 hours into it. It's my least favorite Monster Hunter game.
God, you're broken.
No, I mean, it's not my least, like, mechanically, it worked perfect. Mechanically, it worked.
Which
it was just
that is a big compliment for Monster Hunter.
Yeah, like, it was a Monster Hunter game, and the things they incorporated in it were good, but overall, with the choice of monsters and the lack of new monster support and things like that, especially in a post-Monster Hunter world, it wasn't anything what, like, I wanted it and what a lot of people wanted from it. And I've wanted to go back and play Monster Hunter, but I'm pushed more to play Monster Hunter World than I am to play Monster Hunter Rise.
That's fair. Also, just to circle back to what you said at the beginning, they did say that this was going to focus primarily on games coming this winter.
I know. I had a few people say to me, like, well, that didn't show me much for the next. I'm like, well, it said a winter direct.
No.
Which winter?
Hear me out. Let me finish. So winter, and you're right. That could be up to the end of December and then up through March of next year. So winter. Yeah. There's a lot of winter.
Yeah.
The first game they showed, Monster Hunter Rise Stormbreaker DLC, coming summer 2022.
Yeah, I know.
Also, a lot of the things in this direct were announcements for announcements.
They did do that a couple of times, and I didn't think it was a bad direct. I didn't really have high expectations going in, but it was a little lackluster for me. Like, there wasn't a whole lot in here that I cared about.
There was only one announcement for an announcement.
No, there were two.
No, was it only two? I thought it was like three.
It was
Smash Brothers and Animal Crossing and the Switch online stuff. So yeah, it was three.
Yeah.
Well, no, the Switch.
Right. It was.
No, the Switch line online stuff. I don't count that as an announcement for an announcement because they told you everything that was coming to it. They were announcing it.
But they're going to announce the price later.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, I'm not surprised that they're going to announce the price later. But like that doesn't surprise me.
We'll get to those in a few minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just when I saw Sunbreaker, that was just like a big middle finger to me from Capcom, because it's like a huge giant content release, DLC, blah blah. I'm like, fuck you. Like they after Rise was all done, they sent out a poll. Would you want to pay for added DLC monsters? Like in a games for service style? No. But that's what they're going to be leaning on now, and no longer using emotes as a revenue generating process. And it's going to kill the Monster Hunter community totally if they keep sticking with that model. It really will.
Yeah, I mean, probably. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That one, I didn't care. I mean...
Yeah, I know.
I kind of figured you were going to have some sort of reaction, because I remember you being aggravated at how they were handling that game.
Yeah. It was... Like, when I first started watching the Direct, and that was the first thing, I had texted Evan, and I was like, fuck you, Capcom. Just immediately, as soon as it showed any little bit of Monster Hunter, I said, fuck you, Capcom. Because it made me so mad. But besides that, they did show some other things. There was this game that, like, I'm intrigued by, and I think there's actually a demo out for it. I can't remember.
I don't think they said anything about a demo. For Voice of Cards, the Isle of Dragons?
Yeah. If it wasn't that, it might have been for Actraiser. I can't remember. There was a demo announced for that day of that Direct. I just can't remember what it was. But Voice of Cards, the Isle of Dragons, it intrigued me. Like, I wanna see more of this. Maybe try it out, see how the card system works, because it's like it's a card game, kind of. It's like a tactical card game.
Yeah, it's a card game mixed with JRPG.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a demo for it.
Okay, so it was this one then. I meant to try it, but I was pretty busy this weekend. But it was like, yeah, the art looks pretty cool. And that's what pulled me in more so than anything. Like, the art of the cards and things like that looked pretty neat. But, like, it just intrigued me, this game.
Did you just say the heart of the cards?
The art of the cards.
Oh, okay.
But also the heart of the cards.
You're the worst.
You're not going to talk about a card game and not talk about the heart of the cards. Ooh, I gotta remember to say that, too.
Oh,
it's Pete tonight.
That's right. So, this game is the one that's from Yoko Taro, who is the Nier creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this game, aside from it already looking fucking bonkers because it's a tactical JRPG that's completely based on cards, it's fucking Yoko Taro.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting to say the least. I was intrigued. I will say that. I'm actually I am adding the demo to my account now so that I don't forget about it.
I'll do that after we're done here, and I'll try to play it over the weekend. We can talk about it next week.
Yeah, I'll try and remember to give it a shot too. Like, if I don't have stuff going on that, like... Actually, you know what? I could bring the Switch with me when you guys are playing D&D. It'll give me something to do while you guys are being fucking nerds.
Yeah, perfect. You're the one playing a fucking card game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hold on. So, real quick. They said this was a winter... It was for announcements for games and stuff for winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
winter
said it was
2021 was how they...
Literally, one thing they announced is coming out in winter of period. Like, between now, well, I guess 2, but the other one is winter 2022.
I mean, it's still, they never said it was winter 2021. They just said it was a winter Nintendo Direct.
No, they said it was this winter. But it may have been a translation of, like, through this winter.
I think it was...
But no, that's the thing. Well, alright, through this winter, that now through this winter at least adds a couple of the things that are coming out before winter.
Yeah.
But then everything else is nebulous 2022 or after March 20th, which is the end of winter.
That's
like,
it's fine. Nintendo just doesn't know the seasons. It happens. It happens. I am cautiously optimistic about Chocobo GP.
I mean, sure. Like, it looked fine, but what kart racer has ever really done anything other than Mario Kart?
Diddy Kong Racing.
Fair, but not even. Diddy Kong Racing is not even on the... It is not even... It's not the best kart racer on that system. So,
I mean, that is valid.
I just think it's an interesting move to release a kart racer exclusive on a Nintendo system. Like, why not release it on where it might get better reception on, say, the PlayStation, where that's where Crash Team Racing is. Like there's not a lot of kart racing besides Crash Team Racing, and maybe there might be one or two others, but like, why just an exclusive on the Nintendo? That was the thing that I thought was the funniest. It's like, Chocobo GP, you know what? I might get it. I feel like there was a Chocobo Racing, like, actual game back in the day.
There were mystery dungeon games that like you controlled chocobos, if I remember correctly.
No, I'm 99% sure there was a game called Chocobo Racing that came out on the PS1.
Maybe there was.
Yep. Chocobo Racing console game, PS1, 1999, March 18th, 1999. We had it. I had it. We played it. It was a fun game. And I remember it because the Chocobo had the friggin' rocket skates on his feet.
I remember the art for this game now.
Yeah. And so, like, that game was fun back then. But it just, to me, this looked like kind of just like a generic kart racer.
Dude, it's got Vivi and Steiner in it. This is anything but generic.
I mean, it's cool that they're calling back some of the better characters of Final Fantasy, but still, like, it's just an interesting move to release a kart racer exclusive on a Nintendo system where
you are 100% right, but
like,
it's also been 4 years since there was a Mario Kart, so, and it'll probably be until the next platform that there's another one, because they seem to only do one Mario Kart per generation.
See, I don't think it'll be that long. Especially unless they're going to be announcing a new console next year, with the release of the final Smash character. And Mario Kart 8 was a port from the Wii U, with just all the DLC content. Like, Mario Kart 8 on the Switch is just the Mario Kart Wii U version.
Yeah.
With all the DLC. So they never released a full Mario Kart game for the Switch. I think we might be getting one soon. It's nearing close to the end of the cycle for the Switch console itself anyway, but I think there's a chance that we might get a Mario Kart game coming out in the next year or two.
I think because of how many copies of 8 Deluxe were sold, that they're probably just going to sit on it unless they run out of other games and they need to just crank something out. Because, 8 Deluxe sold a ton, and it still sells. So, it's one of those games where, every Switch already has one.
Yeah.
People probably, there aren't as many people that will buy a second copy of, a new Mario Kart on the same platform. And they have only ever released one Mario Kart per platform.
If every console has a Mario Kart 8, why not release a Mario Kart 9? They're not making any more sales on it, so why not release the new one?
Because I don't know. They are. That's the thing. When people buy Switches, they still buy Mario Kart.
I know, but then they can get more money by getting the people who already have 8 to buy 8, and have the people who are going to buy 8 can now buy 9.
That's what I mean. I don't know that as many people would buy a 9 on the same platform, because what's going to be different? But Chocobo GP, Vivi, and Steiner. You can, you can collect Fire Aga and hit your enemies with Fire Aga instead of a blue shell.
In Mario Kart, you can use a Mii Racer and just make Vivi and Steiner. Just saying.
The Miis are the worst thing that Nintendo has ever done. Let's be realistic.
They do a lot with them, though.
But they are the worst.
Are Mii's worse than the Virtual Boy?
Yes.
No, I can't get behind that statement.
I would rather play the Virtual Boy for 24 hours than ever see another Mii.
How can we get this to happen?
I will say the fact that Mii's have continued since Wii might actually make them worse than the Virtual Boy.
It's like Minions. Minions are atrocious, and they just keep coming.
Yeah.
But, Rich, you mentioned Smash a minute ago. Who do you think the final Smash character is going to be?
It's going to be Shigeru Miyamoto himself.
That would actually be hilarious.
It's going to be him on stage teaching you how to play as him in Smash.
So wouldn't it make more sense if it was Sakurai?
Is that who it is that shows those?
Yes.
Then it'd be Sakurai. Sorry.
I like the idea of it being Miyamoto more.
I mean, it could be a multi-skin, mirror character, Sakurai and Miyamoto.
No, Miyamoto would be better because he just comes out and just throws Nintendo characters at people. He literally just throws Mario at Mario.
Exactly.
He comes out with the Wiimote and the nunchuck and fires arrows like that one E3 where he was trying to demonstrate the Wii Motion Plus with Twilight Princess, No, not Twilight Princess. Skyward Sword with the bow and arrow.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, like, look, everyone wanted Reggie to be in there. I think Miyamoto has way more versatility when it comes to potential moves.
Yeah.
His final smash could just be to summon all of the Pikmin.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it would be great. Like, I'm not, like, actually, the Character Pass 2 is not terrible. It's Stephen Alex is really what, like, pushed me away from getting it, because fuck Minecraft. But overall, they've had, with Min Min from ARMS, Sephiroth, Pyro and Mithra from, Fire Emblem, and Kazuya from Tekken, like...
Pyra and Mithra are from Xenoblade.
Are they Xenoblade? Okay.
I understand your thinking. They have swords in their anime, so they must be Fire Emblem.
Yeah. But, like, oh, that's right, they did Bailiff from Fire Emblem in the previous, Character Pass.
Yes.
Like, it was a good showing of DLC characters that it's gonna be interesting to see who this final character is, as well as it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with the next Smash Bros. Because this now puts, I think, the characters to close to 80 at this point, total, I think.
They bring it back to just the original, like, 7 or whatever there were in the original Smash Brothers, and that's it.
I mean, that's a complete possibility.
And they reinstate tripping?
No, please no. I was playing Smash Bros. The other day with friends, and I have a buddy who says, fuck items are the worst. And I'm like, yeah, this is why I don't like playing Smash Bros. With you. Because... Yeah,
because, like, honestly, like, if you're playing that game, like,
yeah.
Like, you're supposed to play with items and all the bullshit, because, like, it's supposed to be fun.
He's also, like, tournament ready, or, like, tournament skilled, and really good at it to begin with. And then when it's, like, him and his girlfriend, it's just, like, they're both really good at Smash, and then there's no items, so I generally just don't stand that much of a chance.
Have you thought about getting good?
I can't get good at Smash. I can't.
Have they thought about playing real fighting games?
I'm sure they might have. I don't know, but, like, I've even mentioned last time, I was like, official tournament play allows for items now. And he's like, fuck items. Items are the worst. I'm like, it's not why are we playing in Final Destination only and no items? That's not Smash Bros. If it's Final Destination only and no items, that's a fucking tournament, which I don't want to be in.
Yeah, that is Evo right there.
Yeah.
But even then, like, Evo plays on different stages.
Yeah, but it's all the tournament stages. So you can set it...
just Final Destination.
Which are just Final Destination with a different skin, yeah.
Yeah. But, like, realistically, though, do you have any guesses? Either of you have any guesses on who you think might be the final character?
I know who the internet wants it to be.
Waluigi.
It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be.
It better be.
It won't
honestly.
be.
It won't be, but it better be. It'll be some fucking Fire Emblem character with a sword that isn't in the game.
I don't know that there are any left.
There fucking, I'm sure, are 1,000 more. There's what, like 30 Fire Emblem games?
No, I hope they add the girl from Fire Emblem Three Houses that's afraid to leave her room. I just think that, like, I forget what her skill was and everything, but, like, I just think that'd be funny to have, like, a aggressively introverted character as, like, your last Smash character. But you know, like, sorry, Rich, go ahead.
I'm trying to think of, like, maybe releases around the same time, and, like, maybe it could be something from Metroid Dread, which is why they're waiting until close to or around the release of Metroid Dread to announce it. But maybe like Chozo or something like that.
I was gonna say, other than Ridley and Samus, like, what other characters would be good in Smash Brothers? Because even Ridley seems weird.
Well, I mean, they're. Have you watched anything from Dread? There's like this like humanoid type thing that I believe they think is like part of like the precursors or whatever, the Chozo or whatever they called. That could be that. Could be Kraid. But I don't know. It's probably not Metroid. I don't really know. Like, I have no guesses. I really have no legitimate guesses because, like, I would never have guessed. Like, I would never have guessed Stephen Alex. I never would have guessed Terry's stupid name.
God, you're the worst.
I don't know. I don't know what, like, maybe what's the word? Like deals they've said or anything. It's hard for me to figure out who it could be. I hope it's someone exciting, but
I hope it's another iteration of Mario.
There's 80 characters, and half the people don't use half of them. So at this point, it's getting a little too much anyway.
But what if it was like Metal Cat Mario?
God, that would...
They or at least I don't know if they do anymore, but they had an item because we don't play with items anymore. I don't think they've ever removed an item from the game. They have the metal box, so it wouldn't be Metal Cat because they have the metal box. So that would take away an item use essentially. Maybe it wouldn't be something Kirby, even though they just announced Kirby. Which we'll get to in a second. Yeah, I really have no guesses. Maybe, what if it's Arceus for Pokemon?
Do they have any quadruped Pokemon?
Bulbasaur? Can't you be Bulbasaur?
Oh, that's right.
You can be.
Or it's Ivysaur,
yes,
right?
It is Venusaur. Or yeah. Yeah, because it's Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard, right? Are the three?
Look, they have fucking Piranha Plant, so
this is true.
Piranha Plant is
he hops around in a fucking pot though, so I'm just saying.
But he is still upright.
Oh, and fucking Pikachu runs on all four.
That's true. That's true.
Pikachu and Pichu do run on all fours.
Wait, is Pichu its own character in that game?
Yeah.
Pichu's been its own character since GameCube 1.
Okay.
Just like there's Link, Kid Link, and Toon Link.
That I knew, but. Also, like, we've been over it. Like, I don't care for Smash, so, like, I honestly don't know most of the characters. I did not realize Pichu was one of them. That's stupid.
And so, technically, Pyra and Mythra are 79 and 78. Kazuya is 81, so this will be character 82 in the full series of Smash Bros.
And we actually, so we kind of buried the lead here. On October 5th, they're going to be announcing the final Smash character in a separate Smash Brothers Direct hosted by Sakurai. So, that's fun. And then I think probably the only game that I was personally really interested in was Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
That game looks super adorable. I kind of need it. Kind of.
I will almost certainly get it. I haven't played a main Kirby game in a long time, but I love the one on I love Kirby's Adventure and Kirby's Dream Land, and Kirby 64 was all right. The Crystal Shard one.
I've never actually really played any. Well, I've never really played through any of the Kirby games. For the most part, like I've played them, but I've never played through them. So I can't really say how much it's like which ones I do and don't like. But this one looked cute and Kirby and fun, and I'm like, I kind of need this. Kind of need this game in my life.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time Kirby's in like a 3D game like that. Like I don't know that there's been any Kirby games that were actually like open world-ish 3D.
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, so I mean, even the Yarn Kirby games were 2.5D.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that one looked absolutely charming, and it'll be neat to see some of his abilities, like when he like eats people in like a 3D model.
Yeah.
Like one of the things when he does like the spike ball thing, he kind of Katamari's them, like he was like rolling and like picking up the enemies and sticking them to himself.
Yeah, which was amazing. I loved that.
Yeah, that one will hopefully be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And then they announced another announcement for a Animal Crossing Direct coming sometime in October.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a specific date for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't touched Animal Crossing in close to a year.
Same.
Like I've jumped on a few times, but like if I were to go on right now, my Islanders would be so mad. There's going to be so many weeds. And yeah, I just, the game ran out of content for me to enjoy. Like, after swimming was incorporated, which sucked, I basically ran out of things to do. Like, I only had, 3 more fish to catch and 3 more bugs to catch. And I never did those to clear up those parts of the, Collectopedia. But I was like, alright, I'm kind of just done now. I don't really have a reason to play this game anymore.
Yeah, the same thing kind of happened. Like, I did the stuff I wanted to do, didn't really have anything else I wanted, so I just kind of, fell off. They're at least adding the cafe to the museum.
Yeah.
And then they're sometime in October, they'll have this direct to announce new content that'll be coming in November. Didn't really tell us what content it would be.
Yeah. And hopefully it's something that might, pull me back in to play for a bit, but I don't think so. I think I think Animal Crossing ran its course for me. Yeah, it did what it needed to do. At the time that it came out, I needed it. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, and like Animal Crossing's one of those games where like each iteration has something neat about it that you play through it, but like at a certain point, there's just nothing left to do in that iteration.
Mm-hmm.
So, you hang it up, you come back to it later.
Yeah.
What was next? Oh, Rich, are you excited for Mario Golf DLC?
Mario Golf gets better support than Monster Hunter fucking Rise. Okay? That's how bad I am at Monster Hunter fucking Rise. Mario Golf gets better support. Fucking Mario Golf gets better support. Okay?
Well, I mean, Nintendo, Capcom.
But look at what Capcom did with Monster Hunter World, and look at what they're doing in Monster Hunter Rise. That's what I'm getting at most.
Monster Hunter World, multi-platform. Monster Hunter Rise, single platform.
Yeah, but Monster Hunter Rise sold... I don't think it didn't... I don't know the numbers for Monster Hunter Rise.
Isn't Monster Hunter World Capcom's best-selling game of all time?
Well, yeah, but I think Monster Hunter Rise sold... I mean, Monster Hunter Rise was... I think it sold higher than any other Monster Hunter game besides World and Iceborne.
According to VG Sales, it may have sold 6 million worldwide.
Okay.
Whether that's accurate or not, I'm not sure.
It's just... I get so bitter that like a game like fucking Mario Golf is getting better free support and DLC than Monster Hunter, a game that's made on continued play with free support. But anyway, I am excited about the Mario Golf DLC because we got 2 new characters and 2 new courses for free. I haven't actually gotten to play it yet. I tried to get together a group of people to play it last Friday, never got around to it. And honestly,
remind me, I'd play.
Yeah, I was gonna. It's also like Mario Golf doesn't really reflect well on a streaming. I mean, the last time I tried streaming Mario Golf, I stopped after an hour because no one was joining, and I was in a bad mood that day anyway. But yeah, I'll definitely try to hit you up later this week, probably on Friday if I have time. I have some cleaning and stuff I need to do. Plus, I think I'm supposed to go to a haunted attraction. I don't know. But yeah, I am excited that, like, we are still getting new stuff for Mario Golf. Because I think we got something a few weeks after it was released as well.
That sounds right, but I'm honestly not sure.
Might have been just like a character, or it might have been... Oh, it was New Donk City. We got New Donk City as a DLC, a free DLC after the game came out. And I played that, and that's a really stupid fun, all par 3 course. Like 18 holes, all of them are par 3s. It's great. But yeah, with this one, it looked like they put, and it's not really that much of a change, but they put weather in the training course, and they added another course as well, and the characters were, what were the characters? I can't remember now. I should have written that down. Ninja and Koopa Troopa are the new characters.
Right, and Ninja's kind of weird, because I don't know that he's been in anything other than Mario 2.
I think I've seen him pop up here and there in things, but not front end thing.
Which, I mean, like, that is at least a different sort of character to add. Like,
yeah.
Good on them kind of thinking outside the box.
That's going to be the DLC character for Smash. It's going to be Ninja.
That would actually be hilarious if it's just the year of Ninja for no good fucking reason.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys care at all, but I thought it was kind of neat that they're going to port the base-ass KOTOR over to the Switch.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I think it's cool, but I'm also not surprised. I'm actually surprised it took this long for it to happen, seeing as how, like, a lot of companies treat the Switch as, like, a mobile phone, and so, like, a lot of the mobile games are already on there anyway.
Yeah, which is honestly probably going to be the case. This is probably the mobile port of the game, which means it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, because it would be nice to have a version of the original game that wasn't broken the way the Steam version is.
Yeah.
True, because Drew, I think we talked about it like a couple weeks ago. You had the same experience where like the game literally locks up after combat. You can't do anything. You have to quit the game and restart it.
Have to save and quit. Yeah, it's fucking impossible to play, which is why I've only played like 45 minutes of that game. Because, like, that's when you start getting into the combats, and it's like, after the third one, I was like, alright, I'm fucking done with this game. I'm not doing this.
And there's no, like, user-created fix, like, player fix or anything?
It's nothing permanent. There's, like, you can, like, go in and edit, like, an INI file, and, like, it temporarily resolves it, I think. But it's been a known issue since, like, 2014 or 13 or something like that. Like, I found Steam forums of people telling people how to fix it.
Okay.
And just the fact...
there's no, like... No one's created mods for it or anything?
I don't believe so. And even then, like, you shouldn't have to download a mod to make a game that's from 2003 not just break.
No, but, like, at the same time, like, what's causing this? Like, is it the game's age? Is it the...
It's a bad port. Like, they did a bad job porting it to Steam. Because it's basically been like that since it launched. Okay,
so that it was... I played it back in 2011 or 12. I don't remember it being bad. So I wasn't sure if maybe, like, a patch broke it and they just never patched it out, or what.
I think the problem is they've never patched it. So as technology gets better, the game doesn't support it anymore. And that sucks. But, you know, they're remaking KOTOR, so it's not as bad. But I am curious to see what this version ends up looking like whether it is actually just the mobile port or if they change anything up on it. Based on, like, the track record of these things going to the Switch, I'm assuming it's just going to be the port. And this will probably be ported to everything at some point, because I don't see a reason for it to not go to Xbox and PS5 also.
What's the point in them putting out this port when they're getting the remake?
Because you put this out next year and the remake comes out in 2 years. You get 2 sales.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the same thing with, like, Final Fantasy VII. They released the original, like, iOS port of that to all of the platforms 3 years ago, and then the remake came out last year.
That's true.
And then the remake comes out, or is already out, the phone thing soon.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah, which I can't even remember what it's called or when it's coming out, but I do want to try it when it comes out. I think you have to pay for it, so I won't.
Probably.
Yeah, it'll probably be like $30.
Yeah. How about those Switch Online changes?
I was kind of blown away at the fact that they're incorporating N64 and Sega Genesis games to the Switch Online.
Hey, use the proper name. It's the Mega Drive.
I don't
know.
I don't know what that means.
It's called the Mega Drive everywhere else.
Okay, no, it's the Sega Genesis.
It's the Sega Master System and the Sega Mega Drive.
And if I were on a personal account, just me, depending on what the price increase was, I'd probably be down for it if it's not much more than like $5 a month. And I've already talked to everyone who's on my family plan, and they're all 100%. Let's go for it. So I told them, I was like, when the price is announced and we can upgrade, I'll send you all the Venmo for everything, because I already resubscribed recently anyway.
Yeah. I am curious to see how much more they charge and how they do this. Like, whether it's just a, like you said, like $5 extra to add it on now, and then when your thing renews, it's just your whole price is $5 more, or if it's always like this side add-on that gets charged separately.
No, it'll probably just always roll in. Which is fine. It's not a big deal.
I mean, I would rather have it roll in.
Yeah, it'll probably just roll in. Like, I don't mind, like, a month after I resubscribed having to pay an extra $5, and then I only get it for 11 months because I resubscribe early. Or maybe then my new subscription date moves, which won't happen. But it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world if that happens. It's gonna be interesting to see. I'm most interested about this price. If this is like $15 more a month, it's not worth it. And I'm saying like $15 flat, so like on a family plan, probably 30 or 40.
No, it'd be 50 because the family plan's 35, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 35 plus an extra 15.
Yeah. But I'm saying like if it's $15 a month for just a single account, and how much would they increase that $15 onto the family plan? So like if the normal account is $20, the family plan for up to 8 people is $35, $36, then is it going to be an extra $20 or $30 on top of that to make it $60 a year? And like, is that worth it? Is that $15 a month, or is that whatever new price a month going to be worth having the N64 and Sega Genesis ROMs on it?
Yeah, and like,
it depends on also the support and how often they decide to add games to them. They have come out and said they're still going to support the SNES and the NES with more games. So, like...
But let's be realistic. Like, both of those things right now, it's a core selection of well-regarded, like, first-party Nintendo games, and then a whole bunch of hot garbage.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's still...
Which is basically the entire N64 library. It's like 4 really well-regarded Nintendo games, and a whole bunch of garbage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I think they're basically putting... funny enough, Banjo-Kazooie is going to be on here. Donkey Kong 64, not. At least at launch, obviously. But...
Well, I mean, doesn't Donkey Kong 64 suck shit?
Almost...
Like, isn't that
let's be realistic. Basically, every Nintendo 64 game is going to play like absolute shit.
Oh, but I mean, even in the day, wasn't Donkey Kong 64 like...
Oh yeah, no, it's a bad game.
Critically panned.
Yes, no, it's
not a good game.
It's very bad. That's why Giant Bomb sent their copy to Antarctica. But yeah, Rich, like I agree with you 100%. Like depending on how much this is, like there's a very small line where this is worth it, which is why like I hope they, as annoying as people will probably find it if there's too many subscription options, I hope if they're going to up the price too much for this, they have an option to just keep the base family plan still. Because I don't have a whole lot of love for many Sega games. Like I like the Sonic games and stuff, but I don't need to play those.
Yeah, it's gonna be its own separate expansion. So like if you don't want the N64 and Genesis, you don't have to get it.
Yeah, I just hope they keep it that way, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, but for how long? Until they just go, now we're just increasing the price.
And, like, if it's under $60 a year, like, I can live with that. I don't really want to spend that much, but, like, if that's the choice to have cloud saves, like, I will deal with it. But I'm almost never going to play, like, I'll play these games as a gimmick when they first come out, but other than Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, Nintendo 64 games weren't good. Some of them, they were revolutionary for what they did, but like that whole era, the 32-bit, 64-bit, mid-90s era of games are bad. Like they did not age well. They tend to not play well. They don't look good. It's unfortunate because they did change the way games worked, but they're not fun to play anymore. Super Nintendo, like the 2D, 16, 8-bit era stuff. That stuff still all holds up, because in a lot of cases it was like just regular pixel artwork on 2D backgrounds.
Yeah.
But as soon as they started getting into polygons, like those polygons look like fucking garbage today. Because there were like 6 polygons in those games, and that's not how you make a shape. But
yeah.
I'm still interested in it, and I want to see how many fucking Nintendo 64 controllers they sell, because what motherfucker wants a Nintendo 64 controller?
Yeah.
I mean, it is the best Smash Brothers controller.
That's the thing. Are you going to be able to play Smash Bros with an N64?
I would hope so. That would be dope. That would be the only reason to fucking buy that.
And I don't think the N64 is the best Smash controller. Come on.
All right.
The GameCube was the best Smash Bros. It's why every time they've released Smash Bros since the GameCube, they released an adapter in some way, shape, or form to use an N64 or a GameCube controller. Like, either they released a GameCube controller for the Wii U at its time, like, or even with the Switch, they had I used my wired GameCube controller for the Wii U to play Smash Bros with, and I have the adapter to play it on the Switch. But they also released a wireless GameCube controllers for the Switch for Smash Bros.
It's a real fucking bummer that the best controller to play Smash Bros. Is still a garbage fucking controller.
I don't think the GameCube controller is a garbage controller, though.
You are allowed to have a bad opinion, Rich. I forgive you for that.
It's not a garbage controller. Like, the main button is the biggest button, which makes sense. Like, it's not uncomfortable. I don't find it a bad controller.
It is the worst of that generation controllers, though.
Nothing, but I mean, to be fair, that was in it. It was a rough generation because it was going up against the Duke and the DualShock 2, and like you can't compete with those two.
Sure,
but the GameCube controller is not awful, but like I never liked the Y stick. Like I thought that thing was kind of annoying to use.
The C stick.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the C stick.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't really used a lot either to begin with. Like, I don't remember.
Well, it's because nobody bought games that would use a second analog stick on that system.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like up until this generation, I guess the Wii U to an extent too. Like Nintendo kind of like avoided like going full dual joystick on games. Like they managed to get, because even on the Wii, like I think the Wii Classic controller maybe had the analog sticks.
The classic controller had 2 sticks.
But, like, they managed to not need 2 of them because all their games had motion controls. So, like, you used waggle to look around in a lot of cases. But, you know, I don't know why Nintendo hated dual analog sticks, but they did. They fucking hated them. And they still do. Look at their analog sticks. Everyone gets Joy-Con drift on them. I mean, I don't know. Do people get drift on the Pro controllers? No, it's really just the Joy-Cons.
I mean, it's the thing. Like, they always did the offset, which is just, it is a little awkward, the offset with the one stick up and the other stick down. But it's just, I don't know, it works for me.
Wait, what do you mean the offset?
So, like, when you hold your PlayStation controller, the joysticks are in the, like, if you have an X, Y, and Z axis, or like, look at the Y, it's all, both sticks are on the Y.
Yeah, they're both in the middle.
Where if you're looking at the Pro controller, the one stick is on the Y, but the other stick is on YX.
Okay, so
it's up over.
I thought that's what you're talking about. Xbox has been doing that since 2001. That is actually my preferred layout. I prefer the offset analog sticks.
Sony's the only one that does the inline analog sticks.
I forget, on the Switch right now, aren't the analog sticks actually both on top?
No.
They are
they're offset.
On the Joy-Cons.
They're offset.
Okay.
They're offset.
I know that
they're bad.
The the Wii U gamepad, they were not offset. That's why I couldn't remember how they were set up on the Joy-Cons, because I don't have my Switch near me right now.
Yeah, the Wii U, I mean, my Wii U is upstairs, so I can't even look at it.
The gamepad, they're at like the top, and then the D-pad and the buttons are underneath. That I do remember.
That. Yeah.
Because that was an uncomfortable one to kind of work with. But it was also just like the size and stuff of it was like, unless you were like sitting down with it kind of like resting on your lap, it was just kind of like awkward to hold a lot of times. But what else happened at this thing? Oh, Actraiser.
Oh, hold on real quick. So they're putting out the N64 and Genesis controllers. They're putting out the 6-button controller, but only in Japan.
That sounds about right. Only Japan needed 6 buttons. We got our shit done with 3.
No, fuck that. The 6-button controller is the Genesis controller.
You only need 1 button for Sonic. That all 3 buttons do the same thing in Sonic, so you only need 1 of them.
You know what? It's a 6-button controller. All 6 buttons do the same thing. Like, who can give me more buttons to hit to spin? But why are they only putting the 6-button controller out in Japan? Come on, Nintendo.
Well, you had to jump through hoops to get it in America anyway.
I had a 6-button controller.
No.
I never had a 6-button controller. I still only have 3-button controllers.
They eventually became the default controller.
I had an earlier Genesis then. I had the one that actually had the slider, the volume slider on it, which I think was the earlier.
Yeah, that is the first version.
And I can't see. So I own 2 right now. One of them's on the shelf above the TV in here, connected to a Sega CD. I think that is the remodel.
That's the 2.
The other one is in the basement in a tote, and that is the old big one.
Yeah, I mean, 6-button controllers were all over the place.
I've never had one.
I had multiple.
I was more Super Nintendo than Sega.
Yeah, I was more Sega.
Like, Sonic was literally the only Sega games I actually enjoyed. And Echo the Dolphin. Yeah. Echo the Dolphin was swell. I never got anywhere. I just swam around the starting area, but it was a swell game.
But yeah, we can continue. I just need to get that in.
No, I understand. But yeah, how about Actraiser Renaissance, as it were?
Sure.
Are you telling me you guys aren't excited about Actraiser?
Nope.
I never. I'm not saying I'm not excited, but I never. It holds no nostalgia for me, I guess.
I feel like this game is 100% up your alley, though, Rich. It's half like side-scrolling beat 'em up, half simulation god game.
Yeah. Oh no! When I was watching it, I was all for it. Don't get me wrong; I'm not for it, but I know nothing about it. Like, it brings no nostalgia to me from the past, so I'm just like, I'm not super excited for it, but I'm not excited. I'm just like, well, I'll wait for it to come out and see where I'm at with games I'm playing and stuff, or if I should get it.
Yeah. So to be fair, apparently from what I've read and heard on some podcasts, it's not good. They did a very bad job. It looks awful. It's way too expensive. It doesn't play well. And it's a huge disappointment because there's no other legal way to play that. So like, and I think it's like $30 or something like that. And like, it apparently like it plays like garbage and looks really bad while you're playing it. So maybe don't buy it, or at least wait till it's on a sale if you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
But like, the original Actraiser is a real good game. if you're gonna play Actraiser at this point, just pirate it. They fucked this up. It's their own fault.
Yeah, I actually looked up to see if it was available on the SNES app. It wasn't.
Yeah,
obviously.
no, the only legal way to play it is this remake. Or to, like, go find an actual copy of Actraiser for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and then have a working SN.
I mean, that's easy. I have, like...
I have 0.
You can just find those in, like, the fucking dump at this point. They're everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
You go to a flea market, somebody's selling 6 of them for $5. They're all yellow, but they work.
Oh, yellow. Yes, I did that.
All right, so we've reached a point where we have to talk about Chris Pratt. What did you guys think of the Mario movie cast?
I think it's bad.
Oh, you know what? That's going to be the last character in Smash Brothers.
Chris Pratt
as
Chris
Mario.
Pratt.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I'll be okay with that. Chris Pratt. And each of his skins, so he'll actually be multiple characters, because each of his different outfits, his colors, would be a different character he played. So we'd get a Star-Lord, we'd get Jurassic Park, we'd get him as Mario, so he'd be like a mirror Mario, sort of.
He could be the fucking creepy weird Mario from Mario Maker. The lanky one that didn't
Mario.
jump right.
Yeah.
We'd get a Lego Chris Pratt, and then I'm just trying to figure out.
His name was Owen,
get him,
if I remember correctly.
And then we would get him as Andy. Like, that would be his 4 costumes. He would be Andy.
But it's season 1 Andy with the 2 broken legs.
Yeah. It's pre Guardians Andy, so that he's still chunky.
With the broken legs. But also the Burt Macklin jacket.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a shame. Like, I don't dislike Chris Pratt. I think, like, when he gets cast in a movie, he's usually fun in that movie. Like, he gets cast for the right things that I've seen it. He works in Jurassic Park. He works in Guardians. He was fantastic in Parks and Rec. But, like, fucking really? He's gonna voice Mario?
Yeah, I had this conversation on Brose and was told, get over it, it's a kid's movie. And I'm just like, look, I'm not mad at the fact that, like, I don't care if this movie is going to be good or bad. I'm not saying this movie is going to be bad. I just think that they did a poor job casting because these are iconic voices.
And, like, Charles Martinet is going to also be in it.
Exactly. He's going to be in cameo roles. Why not just give him the lead fucking role as Mario? But even without that, like, you're going to have Bowser going as fucking Jack Black. and then you're gonna have Donkey Kong walking over, laughing as fucking Seth Rogen, and then you cast fucking who was it Charlie Day as Luigi when he'd be a fucking amazing Toad.
Yeah,
like they chose these names for their names, and I'm not saying any of these actors are bad, minus Seth Rogen. I'm just saying, maybe they should have picked better voice actor.
No, like, I actually agree with that. Like, most of these actors I actually like a whole lot. Like, what is it? What's the guy's name that's playing, Cranky Kong?
Fred Armitage?
Yeah, like, that guy is generally really funny, but, like, I don't want to see him, I don't want him to be Cranky Kong.
No, he would be a better Toad than, or he would be a great, or no, is Fred Armitage Toad? What is the casting?
No, isn't Keegan-Michael Key?
Yes.
Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. Yeah.
Yeah, like, they really did. They went out and got names instead of getting people that would suit the role, at least in my opinion. And, like, honestly, they got Charlie Day. Why didn't they just get the entire cast of Always Sunny?
They could have. Danny DeVito was Bowser.
No. Danny DeVito was Toad.
Okay.
Dennis is Bowser. 100%. I can't think of his name off the moment.
But
Mac is Mario, because why the fuck not? D is Peach. The fucking guy, the guy that they, like, went to high school with that is now, like, homeless and addicted to crack is, Luigi. Yeah, like, that those roles fill themselves with the cast of that show. Daisy is the waitress.
I'm not gonna say this movie is gonna be horrible, and I really hope these actors, like, can pull off these voices.
I mean, it's a video game movie. It's going to be horrible.
Sonic was fucking amazing.
That is the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah, like, I will say, like, Sonic had no right to be as good as it was. I wouldn't call it amazing, but it was actually a very entertaining, like, kids movie. Like, they did a really good job with it.
Yeah. And it's being made by the cast who did, I believe, Despicable Me. Or not the cast, the team who did.
Oh, yeah, great.
Despicable
The
Me.
assholes that brought us the Minions.
I mean, that just means they're going to throw rabbits in there somewhere.
But yeah, like, did either of you guys see the video that Pratt posted on social media, like, the next day?
I did not.
I know he posted a thing where he's just, like, so excited, and he was talking about how he used to play Mario as a kid, and now he's going to play Mario as an adult.
Yeah, it was actually a very bad video.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, like...
And then at the end he goes, "It's a me, Mario. That's not the voice I'm going to do." And then I'm just...
Yeah, that's exactly what he says. Like, he just says it as himself, and he's like, "No, we're working on the voice, though. Like, you have to wait till the movie comes out to hear it." But just that whole video, it was very hard to tell whether he was actually trying to be sincere or if the whole thing was scripted. Because, like, the whole video was bad. He made a lot of really stupid faces. He goes off on this side story about how he used to steal quarters out of the wishing fountain to play Mario Brothers in the arcade. And then he goes, "Man, I got my wish to play Mario, but I stole somebody else's wish. That's going to be bad karma, guys." And then he makes, like, a goofy face. I'm like, "Oh, come on, dude, you're better than this."
Yeah. I don't know. I hope this is a good movie. I hope this is entertaining for both children and adults. I hope this brings back all the nostalgia, but with the voice acting, like, I'm not gonna Sonic 2019 this and be like, "Hey, change it." I'm not gonna, like, do a change.org thing for them to change the voice casting. Like, no. It is what it is. I don't like it. That's fine. Hopefully it's good. But I have zero faith in it.
Yeah, it did at least give two very fun reactions. Drew, I don't know if you watched Giant Bomb talk over the direct.
I didn't.
You should just look up the video and just fast forward to that point where all of them are just like, "What the fuck?" And then Dan did his own, like, watch along with it and fell out of his chair when they showed Chris. Like, he was super excited when Miyamoto came out. And then he starts talking about the video and you just see his excitement level, like, decreasing slowly by slowly. And then as soon as Chris Pratt's picture came up, he fell out of his chair laughing. It was good. It was very good. So the last thing at the direct, though, was a little Bayonetta 3, finally.
I wonder if they're going to do the same thing they did with Bayonetta 2 and release them all with the same, like, because it's been so long. Probably not, but...
No, because you can already buy... They still sell 1 and 2 together for the Switch.
Do they?
Yeah, so, and I'm sure it's still a $50 game, if not a full $60 game.
I'll have to add that to... I don't know if the Switch has a wish list. I'll have to add that to the wish list.
It does.
See if it ever goes down.
Yeah, the Nintendo, like, site has, like, the wish list thing. They'll even send you emails when something on your wish list goes on sale, like Steam does.
Yeah.
Have you never played any of the Bayonettas?
I never played them. I've always wanted to, just never did. Never got them. Never owned them. And when the Wii U version came out, and they had both Bayonetta 1 and 2, but it was like, what was the word?
It was very hard to get.
It was hard to get the version that had both of them. It was very rare to get both of them in the single as a single price as well. I could never find it, so I just never got it. Bayonetta 1 is on sale on Steam for $5.
Honestly, Bayonetta 1 is a very good game. I actually haven't played 2. I own 2 because I have it on Switch. I have the 1 and 2. 1 was a lot of fun. I never got around to 2.
So it doesn't look like you can buy a combo pack on Switch for Bayonetta 1 and 2 anymore. At least not digital. Maybe physical. It still exists. It's $80 to buy both of them on Switch right now.
Jesus. Yep.
Or hold on. Wait. Was it? Okay. Yeah. No. $80. Bayonetta 2 is $50. Bayonetta 1 is $30.
Yeah, and actually, I looked on Amazon. The physical game is $75, and that's the physical game, and it's the one I have also. It's a digital download of the first game, and then a physical version of the second game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that is $75 on Amazon.
Well, I just bought Bayonetta 1, so if I can find Bayonetta 2 inexpensive, then I'll be able to play them both.
Yeah, I mean, Bayonetta 1 at this point is a little old, so, like... But it's still a fun game that plays well, because it's one of those, like, quality platinum, so... And, like, that trailer for Bayonetta 3 looks really fucking cool, and...
It did, but now I just want a giant kaiju
I want to know why they had the little dog mascot from Astral Chain, and does that mean we're going to get another Astral Chain?
I didn't play Astral Chain, so I really couldn't have realized, but I didn't notice it.
Yeah, that dog mascot. So when in the trailer, right before Bayonetta shows up, the camera pans around to where she appears, and it's that like dog mascot looking thing with the police hat on.
Okay.
That is the mascot of the Astral Chain police force from Astral Chain.
Okay. Maybe it's Connected Universe?
I mean, they're both Platinum games, at the very least, so
yeah.
I don't think that they would be connected universes just because they're two very different worlds, but it would be nice if that was just like a little teaser that they are going to do another Astral Chain, because I feel like it was left open enough that you can do a sequel, and I liked that game a whole lot.
That's another one that I wanted to get and never got, so I might have to add that to my Switch wish list and wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that was the Nintendo Direct. So I got into the Halo Infinite multiplayer flight thing that they're doing.
So,
cool.
So is that just like their beta test for Infinite multiplayer, or is it?
Yes.
What is it?
So they did one of these back in August where it was the multiplayer, but it was the bot only multiplayer. They only had PvP on for like an hour.
Okay.
But it's basically you have to sign up on a website, and then they invite people, and you get invited for all sorts of Halo related stuff. Like I've gotten invites for some of the Master Chief Collection stuff that they're doing. But yeah, so they have two modes available when it's up, and it's PvP multiplayer where it cycles through the different types of matches. It's Team Slayer, Capture the Flag, and I forget what the other one's called, but it's like the Capture the Point, like the A, B, and C, and you have to like stand in the area to capture it. It's fun. Like it is actually if I get Halo Infinite, I'm not going to be playing the multiplayer, but it was Halo multiplayer, and that was one of the few multiplayer like shooters that I always like enjoyed, even when I wasn't doing well.
Yeah,
I am not nearly as good at Halo as I used to be, or just everybody else is a lot better. Like one or the other, probably a little bit of both. My first few matches, I was very bad. Like I got maybe 2 kills and double-digit deaths. But then after playing for a little while and like learning the maps and where the weapons were and all that stuff, I was doing significantly better, especially in like the Capture the Flags and the non-Team Slayer stuff, because Team Slayer's just rough when you're playing with random people. Because I actually had one round where there was one person on the team who had a microphone on and was actually like really good about it. Like they were on there like constantly like saying like useful in-game stuff like, hey, people are coming up from over here, or hey, we're doing this, or hey, we're doing that, or you know, like just like directing things in a way that actually like made it easier to like not get killed.
Yeah.
But then any other time that somebody jumped in with a fucking mic on, they were just being obnoxious and playing loud music or saying stupid shit, and I was just turning mics off immediately.
Yeah, that I still don't understand the people who have to blast loud music when playing mobile.
Yeah, especially like to have your mic, like don't have your fucking microphone on if you're doing that. Like, why are you just that sort of douchebag?
Yeah, like if I'm gonna play, say I were to play Apex on like at this point, if I were to play Apex, I would download it onto my PC and play it on my PC. If I were gonna have music playing, it would be coming through my headphones, which I'm also using to play Apex.
Yeah, exactly.
So like that's how it should be. If you're gonna listen to music while playing a game, it should be coming through your headphones.
Yeah, but people are pieces of shit on the internet.
Yeah, I mean that's not just the internet. I have somebody walking down my street almost daily with a fucking giant Bluetooth speaker listening to music through their phone on their fucking Bluetooth speaker. People are just fucking assholes. Yeah,
like it's one thing if you have like a speaker in your yard and like you're sitting outside or whatever, but like to walk down the street with a fucking speaker, that's just weird.
In the year 2021, where in the years 2015 to 2019, where most phones came with headphones, there should be no reason that you can't listen to your music on headphones. Like,
I mean, you're not wrong.
You should have 1 million. I literally have like 6 pairs of headphones around me right now.
So to be fair, though, most phones don't have headphone ports anymore.
Well, that's a personal problem. Like, stop getting a fucking iPhone. There you go. I fixed your problem right there.
Samsung phones no longer have headphone jacks either.
Just get Android then. Just get Google.
You can only get... So unless you're going to buy them upfront full price, you can only get the good ones from Verizon.
I mean, it's the same price either way. It's actually cheaper.
Does the Pixel have a headphone jack? I thought they got rid of it too.
I'm actually pretty sure they may have.
Mine has a headphone jack.
Which one do you have?
The 5A.
So I think it's one of, and Rich, this is not a shot against your phone. I think it's like the not top end ones still got headphone jacks. The top end phones got them removed for whatever reason.
That's the bullshit, though. Is why is it the top end doesn't get a fucking headphone jack? Music quality comes out better through a headphone jack than through Bluetooth Bluetooth wireless audio.
Not if you buy $300 earbuds. Come on now.
I have a $100 headphone that I bought for my PS5 that I get better audio quality through my $50 pair of Audio Technicas than I do through that thing. It's not
price. I can't say the PS5 headset's really fucking good, but
it's good, but the audio is muffled. It's very muffled. Like, I don't use it anymore unless I'm playing on my PS5.
Well, those were also $99. They weren't $300. You need to get yourself some Beats by Dre.
My $100 Audio Technica, or not even $100, I think it was like $60, $70 Audio Technicas work better than those.
Which, I mean, happens.
So, here's the actual reason they take headphone jacks out is to make the phones.
Yeah, it's... but phones are getting... It's just... I don't know. It's dumb. I hate it. Like, I hate phones.
I don't think the Pixel 5 has a headphone jack.
I think you're right. And yeah, like, to buy those phones full price, like, they're just too fucking expensive. Like, I do the like, pay monthly through T-Mobile, but T-Mobile doesn't get Google phones. Like, they get the lower side of them. Like, they get, like, the A5. But
well, that's why I got the 5A, because that was the most recent thing they had when I went and bought it, and I needed a new phone.
Yeah, like, for me, like, that phone, like, those phones are usually, like, less functional than the phone I currently have, because I usually get, like, the newest model of one. And because I actually wanted the Pixel the one time I went into T-Mobile, and then I was talking to the guy, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, this isn't like the Pixel. This is like like it was like the A model." And I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." He's like, "Yeah, like I forget what I had at the time. It might have been like the S20." He's like, "Yeah, your S20 is actually still better than this one. It's got more memory and a better processor." I'm like, "Oh, well, fuck. I guess I'll get the Note 20 Ultra then."
Yeah, I should have returned this within my first 2 weeks and gotten a different phone. This my 5A, I don't like it. It takes too long for it to connect to Android Auto, and it's constantly, like, at least once a week. I have an app called Alarm Clock Extreme, which I have to, like, put in a CAPTCHA code or something to turn it off. So if I snooze it too much and then try to do something else, it won't be able to process both the alarm clock and other stuff, and I won't be able to open any apps. Anytime I hit the home button or anything else, it flashes my home and then goes full black. I have to restart my phone in order to do anything.
Is it that hard for you to wake up in the morning that you need to put a CAPTCHA into your alarm clock?
Yes.
Jesus, man, you need to get some more sleep.
I mean, it doesn't matter how early or late I go to bed. It still happens.
Damn.
So, confirmed, the Pixel 5 does not have a headphone jack, and the 6 isn't going to. So,
phones have just done away with headphone
soon
jacks.
enough. I'd imagine soon enough. No.
Then at this point, I'm like, I'll be that guy that says it. At this point, providers have to start providing wireless headphones with all their phones.
No, they don't.
No, they sure as fuck don't.
Because
plenty of phones didn't provide headphones, like wired headphones, for the longest time.
It's just, I mean, they provide a wire that lets you plug in wired headphones. So then do that. Provide the wire headphones. And I don't want people walking around with their speakerphones anymore. Like, this just we're not in early 2000 chirp phone, bloop, where you at era. Just stop
I agree. People need to, like, stop playing their shit for everyone to hear. But, yeah, I mean, like, the phone companies don't have to do anything. Like, some of them don't even give you actual chargers anymore. You actually have to buy the charger separate. They give you the cable, maybe.
I got, when I got the 5A, it sent me a charger. It came with a charger and a charge cable and a dongle for USB 3. For a normal USB to USB-C, because the wire they sent was USB-C to normal USB, but the charge plug is USB-C. Why didn't you just give me a USB-C to USB-C, you fucking idiots? Like, why? Why are you so dumb? Why did I need this extra plastic?
Yeah, that is actually very just stupid and funny.
But, yeah, anyway, Halo Infinite Multiplayer. You still got You gonna play that anymore?
So it's only on the weekends. So I did get invited to this coming weekend also. It is very specific time frames. So it's like it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. I want to say Eastern time on all those days, and then like 8 to 11, maybe 1 to 5. Either way, like it's only like certain blocks of hours. Luckily, like I never had any server issues. I was able to get right in every time. I was able you can actually go in and like customize your Spartan, change the color and everything. You do unlock some cosmetic stuff as you're playing, but a lot of it is just locked out of this, and some of it's locked behind like paywalls and like other subscription-y things. But yeah, it played well. Weapons were good. I never had any. The only issue I had were shitty people online who would just like if you started if you weren't immediately winning the game, they would just drop the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's like like all the matches had time limits. And it was funny, like on Friday, I want to say there were the Slayer match time limits were like 20 minutes. It never took that long. Because it was like 50 kills in 20 minutes. But then on Saturday, it was all down to 12, like 12 minutes to 50 or 50 kills.
Yeah.
And it's like that's 12 minutes for a round is a good round, and it frankly doesn't take that long to get 50 kills in 4v4.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was fun. I will probably try and play again over the weekend just to run around a little bit more. But it gives me hope for the campaign to be good because it plays really well. Like it plays and feels like Halo.
Yeah.
My only real complaint is they no longer have just a default option to switch it to boxer controls, and that really bums me out.
Because you're weird.
I don't want to fucking click this thumbstick into melee attack.
Why?
Because you always melee attack in that game.
I never melee attack in it.
Then you're not playing Halo, right? Halo is you run at people, you zigzag, you duck, you jump, and then when you get close enough, you melee them.
Maybe that is why I always sucked at Halo multiplayer.
Yeah. No, if you get the shotgun, it's a one-shot kill if you're close enough. Because you shoot them, and shooting them generally takes down their shields and some of their health, and then one good melee with the shotgun, and it kills them. Like, I used to run around like hang 'em high and stuff like that in the first Halo. Just, all I needed was the shotgun. I would just run around and kill everybody. It was great. But, like, it worked really well with Boxer, because it would be right trigger shoots them, left trigger melees. And you can do those settings manually. It's just, you have to go through and, like, remap all of the buttons, because I think zoom is on the left trigger, and it's like, if it was look down sights, I would deal with it. But it's not look down sights. It's like this uncomfortable zoom that doesn't really zoom in unless you have a sniper rifle. So it doesn't really help you with your aiming at all, the way, like, aim down sights does.
Well, yeah, because Halo doesn't have aim down sights.
No, and it never has, but
yeah,
a lot of games didn't have aim down sights in the early 2000s and have them now. Halo it's not one of them. And it's not a big deal. Like, I don't need aim down sights. It's just that having zoom on the left trigger just seems absolutely useless unless you have a sniper rifle. Because it also is one of those things where if you get shot while you're zoomed, it knocks you out of it anyway. So it's very just kind of like jumpy and it's not useful, basically. But Drew, what is Diablo II Resurrected looking like still?
It looks real good. Now that the full game is out, I've gotten to see Acts 3, 4, and 5, because the beta only had Acts 1 and 2. And yeah, hey, that game's still pretty darn good.
Nice. Like,
Diablo 2 is still a good game.
Who would have thought?
And
20 years later.
The updated art and 60 frames per second and 4K, like, all looks really nice. And, like I said, the game's still fun to play. It's still fun to click on things and watch them and drop item.
Nice. What are you playing?
I mean, I have, like, one of everything except the Barbarian at this point. Although me and Eric were talking earlier about how we both kind of hate Barbarians because, like, Whirlwind is the only viable thing, but then we're just, like, looking at dumb bits of Barbarians to make. But, like, my highest level thing right now is a summoning Necromancer, which is something I never played before because it would lag games way too bad, and it doesn't now, so that's a thing. I can have all my stupid summons out. In fact, I was even in a game with another person who was also playing a summoning Necromancer, and we were jokingly, like, yelling at each other, "Hey, leave some corpses for me."
So are you playing online then?
Yeah. Actually, I guess now that they have a shared stash in single player, I'm guessing the stash is shared. Like, they added shared tabs to the stash at least in multiplayer, I know for sure. I haven't created an offline character to confirm that, but I can't imagine it wouldn't be in there. But, like, I never liked playing that game on single player because, like, you would find gear for a character that was not the... Like, you would find a unique for a class that you aren't playing as, and it's like, cool, well, it's stuck on this character forever. So, but if you're playing online, even if you're just playing in private games by yourself, like, oh, I found a bow while I'm playing as a druid. Guess I can make an Amazon, and now I can just put it in the shared stash and have my Amazon go take it out whenever.
Yeah.
Nice. Also, Rich, you're being optimistic, giving a 20-minute countdown before you're going to be able to stream.
I could change it. I could change it. Don't worry.
But yeah,
I was gonna go for 8:30, but I was like, let me go for 8:20, and if I need to change it, I'll change it. I have the app open and everything to change it.
We're usually done around 8:30.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to use bathroom and stuff and everything. So we'll see. We only got 2 more things left. So, but yeah. So you're enjoying your Diablo II Resurrected, Drootin?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you hear apparently on the console edition, it doesn't have any of the good stuff that they did for 3. Like, it doesn't, like, they didn't optimize it for a controller the way they did with Diablo 3.
Like what?
So I haven't played it. I'm going off of what Jeff said on the Bombcast. But it's like inventory is all like, it sounds like it's move a cursor sort of stuff. Instead of, like, they actually had, it's been a while since I played it on the console, but Diablo 3, it was all like, everything was mapped to the buttons really well. You didn't have to do anything weird with it. When you got into inventory, you could use like the D-pad to just move between the items and quickly assign them to things.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Oh, did you ever? I thought you played it on console. Did you not?
Nah, by the time it came out on console, I was 300 hours into that game.
For some reason, I thought you'd played it on console.
No, there was no cross progression, so why the fuck would I have bought it on console?
Yeah, so
I'm not crazy like Eric.
So Diablo 3 on console, fucking amazing. They did
so
such a good job with it. Like, it was one of those games where I'm like, there's no way this game is going to play correctly on a console.
Hey, Diablo 1 on PlayStation 1 was not terrible, honestly.
That's fair. But yes, apparently this one, like, they basically just put the PC game onto console and just mapped the things to controller inputs.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the difference with this is, like, this game is running on the Diablo 2 engine.
Yeah.
Like, it is Diablo 2 that has a skin on top of it.
But, like,
so there's only so much they could do.
But if you're going to make the game on console, like, why not put the work in and make it playable on console?
I mean, it's playable. Like, I'm sure.
It doesn't sound like it's fun to play, though.
Yes, I mean, that is a different thing. But I don't know how much they could get into the code without breaking the game to make some of those things happen.
I'm sure they can do it. They're a bunch of smart people.
I mean, the game, my one friend had to disable their second monitor to get the game to run properly. And in fact, actually, like yesterday, it was straight crashing her computer until she disabled her second monitor. And it does not support ultra-wide monitors at all. Like, they were like, nope, can't do it. The game will not support a 21:9 monitor or whatever.
So, I mean, that just means they skimped on development then.
Well, I mean, partially, but also, like, literally, it's a 21... The game is running on 21-year-old code.
No, I get that. But if you're gonna re-release a game in 2021 that's 20 years old, you have to make it playable on modern hardware. Like, nobody has a single fucking 19-inch monitor anymore.
Well, I mean, like, the dual monitor thing is definitely weird, but, you know, like, I'm playing it on a 4K TV just fine.
Yeah, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, they should have put the work in to make it standard. Like, to what a standard setup is. Like, almost everybody has 2 screens. They either have 2 screens or an ultra-wide.
Yeah.
I have 3. I don't like ultra-wides.
Yeah, no. And, like, I don't know exactly what the issue with, like, the dual monitors is. Like, I feel like, though, now that did I have 2 monitors on the one desk even back then? I don't think. But, like, that seems weird that wasn't working. But also don't know if, like she said she has, like, extended desktop. I don't know. Like, I don't know if there was just something weird.
So, I mean, games in general can be weird when it comes to multiple screens. Like, a lot of Steam games will crash. Well, not crash, but minimize if you click away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I played the Diablo 2 beta, I actually played in windowed mode, which is probably why I didn't notice it. Because it's just easier to play in a borderless window, because my monitor is large enough that it still filled up the whole screen. I could just still easily click on other things off of the game while I was playing.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, that's always an option, too. Like, if somebody has multiple monitors or, like, big monitors, you play in borderless window and just make it the size of your monitor.
Yeah.
But anything else in particular you want to talk about with Diablo?
Nah, that pretty much covers it.
All right. Well then, Rich, what the fuck is Timberborn?
Picture this, okay? I'm gonna pitch this idea for you. Everything goes to shit. The world falls apart. Society ends. Humans die. Beavers take over.
I'm out.
What? Come on now. It's a survival base builder, economy type game, where you play as beavers. You play as beavers. So you gotta gather the wood, and you gotta, generate the resources, you gotta keep them fed, you gotta, the gameplay cycle is, every X amount of days, and I think it's random how often, the cycle changes, but every X amount of days there's a drought, and so you have to survive through the drought. That could be anywhere between 3 and 9 days long, depending on how long you've been playing, so how far set up you are. And the idea is to just, create a large budding society on a map. That's pretty big. Yeah.
Okay.
I've spent, let's see, I bought the game Friday, and I spent about 3 to 4 hours playing it on Friday. Spent another 1 or 2 playing it on Saturday. Overall, I think I've only gotten about 10 to 15 hours tops. I could actually just check my Steam and see how long I have played into it. But I actually had someone on my stream last night I was talking with, and I asked them, because they were watching, and I asked them, I was like, how have you played this? How many hours you have in it? And just for, the game came out on the 15th, and they're at 150 hours already. Over 150 hours.
Wow. That's like Droo right there with Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah, people get obsessed about some games.
I mean, I bought it on Friday. I've got about 10 and a half hours into and it's just there's just so much to learn and figure out as you're playing initially, and then it's still in early access. And I learned about it. I was sent a text from a friend showing it to me, and then one of the YouTube channels I watch, City Planner Plays, I think I've told you guys about him. He did a live stream about it, as well as just a normal video for it. And he said that the way this game is in early access is as good as Banished was when it was fully finished. Which Banished is another game where you're banished from a town, and you're a group of settlers that are trying to expand and create a town and a society. So it's the same aspect, except this one is with beavers and that one was with humans. So he's like, this one is just as polished as Banished was, and they're still working. Which is it's kind of promising that it's that good. And I absolutely love it. I enjoy it. It's adorable. One of the cool things is the buildings you make, they can either have a flat roof or a not flat roof. And if it has a flat roof, you can build up. So when you go to build your housing, you can set aside a block and just building up higher and higher and higher, making high rises out of these wood buildings. That these wood beaver buildings and platforms that they have to move around to get to the bottom of. And it's just it's a neat idea. It's really cool. It's really fun. And I love it so much.
Well, that's good. At least you're liking it.
Yeah. It was I think it was actually on sale when I bought it. No, it might have just been $20 when I bought it. Which is what it's supposed to be. But yeah, it is a very fun, unique game. I suggest anybody who has a PC and who likes these kinds of survival tech, what is Civ-esque games, except this isn't a turn-based game. This is all real time. So it's a real time survival, I guess, is what you would call it. Definitely check it out. it's really fun. And there's like, even at 10 hours, there's still so much more I have to learn about it. I've never even, like, you get to a point where you can create dynamite and then create new areas that will be like lakes and rivers to be prepared for droughts. And I haven't even gotten to that point yet. I've never made dynamite. And like, I'm looking through the screenshots on Steam, and like, there's buildings I've never made before and stuff I've never dealt with. It's, yeah, like, the beginning of the game is very fun, but like, now that I've gotten a few saves that are like 3-4 hours in, I'm like, there's more to it than just starting up. And like, to expand further and further onto this map and this island, and to like set up your power, like, to connect power, it's not just a power line. You actually have to connect from gear to gear to gear. And it's just like that intricate level of planning to connect your windmill from the side that it needs to connect to around to like overpaths and things like that, just to get it all to work together. And eventually building like floodgates and things like that to hold back rushing water, or to release some if it's like overflowing. It's neat. It really is.
Cool.
Yeah. It does not sound like my sort of game, but it sounds like definitely something up your alley.
Oh yeah, it's totally something up my alley. I have a personal map that I play on my free time, and then I have a stream map that I play when I'm going to be streaming. I've twice now I've failed to a point after or during a drought where all of my beavers have died, and it's really sad.
Wow, way to be a terrible fucking beaver owner or whatever.
So, what was the last time that happened was on stream, and what did I do? I didn't realize that I was running out of food. And like, I didn't make a farm early enough or big enough, and I started expanding and having more beavers than I could feed. So then a drought came, and I was able, like, some beavers died, but enough lived to where I could repopulate. But then, like, something else happened, and more beavers died. Eventually I was just left with kids, and then they started dying, because kids don't do any work. So then I was just like, alright, well, I'm done. And then another time was, the first game I played, I started a new district, not realizing that beavers in one district don't do anything in another. And then a drought had happened shortly after I started the district, and it threw things off, and I ended up losing my entire colony. So that was like more of a accident learning the mechanics than it was like I made a stupid decision.
Which happens in those sorts of games.
Yeah, especially when it was my first time playing. But it's I love it. I was going to play it today, but I decided to do 7 Days to Die instead. Yeah, it's great. It is great.
Cool. Well, this is going to be fairly quick. Kena Bridge of Spirits. I continued playing it. That game is a fucking liar.
Why is it a liar?
Is there no bridge? Are there no spirits?
I've actually seen no bridges yet. So that is one problem. Lots of spirits. Lots of spirits.
What about the ofs?
I don't know if there have been any ofs, to be honest with you. But that game is like a baby Souls-like.
So I was right. You gotta get good.
Yeah, like it so I've managed to get through the bosses so far, but you don't realize it early on. And like, I thought like the bosses were like the mini bosses, let's call them, were like a challenge to an extent, but like they weren't bad. It was like you just had to kind of dodge and hit them a whole bunch. But like once you start getting to like the actual larger bosses, it's completely unforgiving. If you get hit once, you're basically fucked. And there's no consistent way to get your health back. So when you're in like most of the fights are basically like little mini arenas. And a lot of the boss fights, or just like more like story driven fights, have one or two flowers that will heal you once per flower, but you have to have built up enough of your rot courage to use it, which also means you are using that to heal rather than to attack. And the only way to build up rot courage is to land attacks. So it's a bitch of a game. And you go from like these like very peaceful, like mostly simple platforming levels to getting these boss fights where it might take you like 10 tries to get through them. because like it is very much like those Souls games where you have to like learn the boss's pattern and figure out like what the actual dodge timing is, because just because you dodge doesn't mean you're not going to get hit.
And when you actually defeat that boss, don't you feel such a good sense of accomplishment?
No, not really.
Like, oh man, that was hard, but I figured it out and I beat it, and I'm happy now because I beat it.
No, I don't really get that. Like, I really like the world of this game. I don't like the kind of just random combat where you're just fighting groups of things is usually fine. The only ones of those that kind of suck are when you occasionally find chests that have stuff in them that you have to fight enemies to open, and some of them have timers on them where you have to defeat like X amount of enemies in a certain time limit. But the enemies don't just all spawn at once. You have to defeat certain amounts of them before more will spawn. And some of these enemies are not quick to defeat. So when you can't like get them to spawn more of the easier to defeat ones while you're also like whittling away at the bigger one, it becomes just frustrating, if nothing else. Because it's like, it's not like you're having trouble defeating them. It's literally just the enemies aren't spawning fast enough for you to take them out, because one of them just actually takes time to kill. It's not just a 4-hit combo to defeat them. But yeah, like the boss fights are very much like what you'd find in like your Sekiros and your Souls games, where they have like occasionally they'll have like glowy spots on them that if you hit those with an arrow, it kind of like it does extra damage, but also stuns them for a minute, so you could theoretically run up and like hit them a few more times. Generally, your melee attacks do almost no damage against them, so you're looking to hit them with like the rot powers, which you have to land normal attacks first, so either hitting them with your arrow or getting in close and hitting them with a melee. But it's just, even when you dodge, there's a good chance that the attack is still going to hit you. And where I'm at in the game now, like, if I'm lucky, I can get hit 3 times and not die. But yeah, so it's a lot of, like, going in and just dying against the boss over and over again to see, like, what the hitbox actually is. And that, to me, that part is just not fun. Like, that combat's not fun. I don't like Souls games for that exact reason. I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. But, like, the world is interesting enough that I just kind of keep going with it. Like, and it's a very pretty game, and like I said, like, the platforming and, like, the other stuff is fun enough that, like, I'm overlooking the just shittiness of the boss fights. But I think if you like those Soulsy games, you'd probably really like the combat in here.
Yeah, I really want to get Kena. It's on my list of things I want to get, but I've not gotten because A, I forgot that it was coming out, and B, I just haven't gotten it.
Yeah. I think it's definitely worth getting. Like, and I'm going to keep playing it even though I don't like the boss combat, because like the rest of the game is charming enough that like I want to see it through. And like if I get frustrated enough with the combat where I just don't want to do it anymore, it does have difficulty settings. Like I can always drop down the difficulty just to like see the rest of the story and be done with it.
Okay.
Which is nice because like a lot of those games, like the Souls games, like the From Software games, don't do that. Like you either get good or don't play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But like Jedi Fallen Order had the same thing. Like if you just really didn't want to deal with the bullshit 2-hit and you're dead combat, it like you could just drop the difficulty down, which that's at least it makes it less of just like a fuck you game, I'm done, walk away, because I always know that like I can do that. Like if I just get to the point where even if it's just one boss, like if I just don't want to deal with a boss, I can just drop it down for that boss and then put it back to normal.
It just it makes me laugh and think, like, it's funny that like the things I hate the most are platforming. I'm terrible at platforming.
And I love platformers.
And you love platformers. But I love sitting there and figuring out the moves and the timing and the pattern recognition. Like, I would be an awesome, like, speedrunner if I cared to do that. Because that's all pattern recognition and muscle memory and timing.
And see, I like going through stuff that requires, like, quick reflexes, but not so much, like, the pattern recognition stuff. Like, it's one thing on a platformer where you're just kind of learning when and where to jump to, like a game like Celeste, where it's a lot of doing, like, bits of a level over, because you're just trying to figure out, like, what the most effective way through it is. But when it comes to, like a boss fight, like, I don't want to have to keep making my way to this fight and dying every 3 hits, trying to figure out, like, what weapon does the right damage, or when to block versus when to dodge. I just want to be able to play the game and, like, make progress. But at least Kena also is pretty good with its checkpointing. I've died a couple of times, like, just doing something stupid, like, in the game, and I've never gotten put back so far that I've been, like, frustrated enough to just be like, all right, I'm done for now. And at least with the bosses, it generally checkpoints you just before them. So other than, like, having to skip cutscenes because it replays the cutscene every time, like, you're right there. So you don't have to, like, go through a bunch of other stuff to get back to where you were.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like that game still. It's frustrating, but I enjoy it. And I think that's probably a show, though.
Yeah. Just remember, we have that docu-series, Formula 1 Drive to Survive, Season 3, that we're going to be talking about the week of the 14th.
Yep, so 2 weeks from tomorrow. Well,
yes.
We'll be recording 2 weeks from today, but when this goes up, it'll be 2 weeks from tomorrow.
It'll be 2 weeks from today.
Yesterday?
It's 2 weeks from tomorrow for us, but it's 2 weeks from today for the listener. Unless the listener's listening to it 2 weeks from today, then it is tomorrow for them. So
yeah, time is weird. But yeah, F1 documentary series thing. I'm probably gonna start that this week.
It's good.
I'll take your word for it. I'm intrigued because, like, while I don't care about racing, I've always thought F1 was just. I thought the idea of that was more interesting than, like, NASCAR.
Yeah.
If nothing else. So, but yeah, I guess otherwise, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. Those things all help a whole bunch. You can also find us on social media. We are facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo. And you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. Otherwise, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.